Hi there, and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you've happened upon me and what I want to give to you as a way to help you have a better life. And if you have a challenge with stress and emotional overeating or food addiction, you've landed in the right place because I have a story of my own that I won't take too long to tell you, but I started with anorexia and binge eating disorder at the age of 14. So my life as a teenager was this horrible dance between starving myself and then binging and over exercising to try and burn the calories. And there's almost nothing that I don't know. The only thing I couldn't do, thank God, was bulimia. My body just wouldn't throw up. Bulimia has huge consequences. Well, so fast forward, I guess, a number of years. I went to chiropractic school. I helped a lot of people in my practice, mostly with getting their bodies back in good order. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to, I saw people as a whole being, holistically. And that means that just doing the physical is not solving the total human being, is not helping the whole human being to thrive and become everything that they want to become or unfold everything that they already are. So my mission has been to help other women and men, but my focus has always been women, to conquer stress and the overeating that results, to conquer sugar and food addiction. And so I became a certified addictionologist, and I have been coaching for 20 years to help people in many areas of their life, because my whole understanding of holism, and I hope that you understand the same thing, that everything about you is connected. You can't fix one thing, like you can't start exercising and not feel better mentally, right? You start on a new habit, you begin meditating, and the next thing you know, you're much more calm and you do better at work. Everything is connected, and it works the opposite too, because let's say you break your toe. Now your toe has to be healed, and you're walking imbalanced because you broke your toe. So you now can't walk the normal way. And so it throws off the rest of the body. You can't do your exercise. So we have these domino effects in life. And what we want to do is maximize the positive domino effect. So what I'm going to give you here is my P.O.W.E.R system. And each letter in P.O.W.E.R stands for a part of a 7-step process that I developed as my coaching process to help women and help people, men too, to overcome and recover from stress, overeating, emotional overeating, and food addiction. So what is the P.O.W.E.R system? So the P stands for pull off the blinders. We know in addictionology, in the addiction circles, we know that the very biggest impediment, the biggest block to getting recovery and getting well is denial, is not looking at how are we fooling ourselves and not really admitting that we have a problem. We learn to kind of live with it. And the problem is, whether you're full-blown addicted or whether you have a general bad habit that you developed as a result of stress, causing you to need to cope with the stress, which caused you to grab food or alcohol or drugs or lots of sex or gambling, shopping, whatever it is that you're grabbing to deal with the stress and feel relief. You want relief in your brain, in your body. You want to feel good. And so when you do the very thing that you're here to stop doing, the conundrum, the challenge is that you want to stop doing it because it became a problem all on its own. You started overeating from the stress, and now you have a problem with your health and your weight, and you don't feel good, and your blood pressure is high, and your doctors told you you're pre-diabetic. Well, so what you used to cope with the stress became its own problem. So on top of the stress, you now have the health problem. I call this SOC, stress, overwhelm, coping, karma. So the karma is that you used food to deal with the stress, but you ended up with a bigger problem. So when you pull off the blinders, it's very important to look at how you've been fooling yourself. What have you been doing that hasn't worked? And what are you doing to yourself how is it hurting your life? How is it hurting your relationships? How is it hurting your health? How is it hurting your ability to earn money? How is it affecting your family and your ability to be a really fabulous human being for yourself? So you are so much more than you think you are. And if you think you are, great. But typically, we have to pull off the blinders to see both the good and the bad. And so where we fool ourselves is really key. And there might be, when it comes to relationships, jobs, habits, anything in your life, it might very well be that there's this small little voice that's telling you things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Something's not right. And you're tolerating less than what you deserve. You're putting up with people that don't appreciate you, a job where you're in a dead end and you're not happy every day. There are so many ways we need to pull off the blinders in life, because you deserve a wonderful life, a full life, a thriving life. So pulling off the blinders is key, because until you're aware of the problem, you can't fix it. So that's a big part of the P.O.W.E.R system, is we have to look at what's working, what's not working. And if it's not working, why isn't it working? And what can we do to make it better? The O in P.O.W.E.R is overcoming limiting concepts and your own doubt. So limiting concepts are parts of you that tell yourself you can't conquer the stress overeating. Parts of you that say it's too hard. Parts of you that think, well, if I do that, then I have to be disciplined all the time, and I can't ever let down. There are so many limiting beliefs and so many ways that we infuse doubt into our goals. And so overcoming limiting beliefs is, once you've uncovered, with the pulling off the blinders, once you've uncovered what's really going on, you can also begin to examine what it is you're telling yourself that is a limiting belief that is keeping you stuck. And it might be, well, I have a relationship that isn't great, and he is a drinker, and he allows you to just keep overeating and to drink as well. And you tell yourself that he's the best you're ever going to find. It could be that you're putting up with, I talked about a job where you think, well, who else is going to hire me at, I can't leave because of X, Y, or Z. And this is not to take away from that your family may be depending on your income, but you deserve to be happy. So there are so many things that we limit ourselves with because we think that there's no alternative. And we have to really examine the beliefs that are keeping us from having the life that we want. So that's O, overcoming limiting beliefs and concepts. Win with the warrior's cry is W. And what does that mean? That means you're committed and committing, even in writing, that you are going to solve this. You've made a commitment to change your life. And it's so important. Commitment is so important because without it, you won't follow through. So you may have found that every morning you commit to, I'm going to eat this way. But at the end of the day, or even by 3 o'clock, you want that chocolate or you want those potato chips, or, well, I'll do it next Monday, or, well, I'll start tomorrow. And you come up with an excuse and out goes the commitment. So keeping your commitment to yourself is like a muscle. And in many respects, you need support in order to keep that commitment so that you can develop the habit of keeping your commitment. This is where in the 12-step groups, you get a sponsor. This is also where you get a coach who's been there, who knows how easy it is to flake out on your commitment. And that's why I'm so thrilled that I wasn't happy that I had eating disorders. I wasn't happy that I was food addicted, but I am happy now that I've done long-term recovery, that I have the knowledge and the experience that can help you to overcome and to create the habit of following through on your personal commitment. So that's P, pull off the blinders. O, overcome limiting concepts and beliefs and self-doubt. And E, W, win with the warrior's cry. Make that commitment. Make that cry. Make that commitment to yourself and keep it. So what is E? Well, E is where we enter the path of healing. And that involves the holistic you. What do I mean by that? I mean mind, emotions, your physical body, your practical life management, and your spiritual self. That is the holistic picture that we must pay attention to if we want to really, really have a thriving life and really, really be able to recover fully. Now, you can do partial recovery. You can focus on a diet, lose the weight and feel as though, okay, I've done it. But that hasn't affected, maybe temporarily, it'll affect some of the other aspects of your life. But when we don't handle the practical aspects of our lives, when we don't handle what we tell ourselves, how we think, what our habits are, other than the addictive habits, what is it that we keep doing that is sustaining the problem when we don't look at all those things and when we don't have a personal relationship with whatever you define a higher power to be? Then we're only handling a part of the problem. We're only doing a partial recovery. And so it's really vital that you develop all, or that you work on all areas. So when I say your mind, using neuroscience and understanding how to use your brain for a change, powerful self-talk. What do you think? What do you entertain as thoughts in your mind? Emotions, squashing negative feelings with energy psychology. And there's a very special set of techniques in neuroscience and energy psychology that I use in my coaching to help you do this. Then there's the physical. This is so key because what we don't realize is quite how addictive sugar is. Sugar is like cocaine, if not worse, in its addictive quality. It's not just sugar. The processed foods and the fast foods that we're surrounded with are filled with chemicals and other things that keep us wanting more. So a big part of recovery from stress and emotional overeating is a way of cleansing your body, your palate, your body from those chemicals and from the sugar. There's no real way around this, because when you're still toxic from the foods you're eating, it is pulling you back to old habits just so you can have it. And it's making it harder to recover, not easier. It's making it more of a, oh God, I want that, but I can't. And so I used to think I would absolutely die without my binge food. And this was before I really understood how the body works, before I was a doctor, before I had the 12-step programs at 18. I was in the 12-step programs, Overeaters Anonymous, Adult Children of Alcoholics, Codependents Anonymous. I understand all of it, but I didn't know the physiology. And the physiology is absolutely key. So there are things we can do to optimize your health. And it's such a vital practice. And it doesn't mean, oh my gosh, I can never have chocolate again. There's a difference between alcoholism and foodaholism. With alcohol, you really can't have another drink. With food, I'm not going to say that you want to have anything with sugar in it, but there are so many alternatives and ways to still enjoy food and not feel deprived. Now, you may not believe me, but when I go into the grocery store to the bakery area or past the bakery area, I have no desire for those things. All I see is a skull and crossbones. So if you're in the grocery store and you're picking up a package of cookies, or you're looking at a chocolate cake, or you're dying for that ice cream or whatever, that's what we have to cut, is feeling that those are the solutions to your problems, the stress connection, but also the physiological craving. And there are ways to cut cravings mentally with neuroscience, with NLP, that work like a charm. So we do both. We do optimize your foods in your health plan, and we also help you with the way you use your brain. So that's a very important part, the physical. So we had mental, emotional, and now physical. And then the next thing is practical life management. So now we want to really examine if our life is set up to perpetuate bad habits, or is it set up to support us in recovery? And this is where we have to look at our work environment, our family environment, our home, our daily other habits, our habits we're not doing that are very beneficial, that are going to help us to support the change we want to make. Then there's the spiritual, which is things like meditation, spending quality time developing your relationship with what you consider a higher power. Because when you try to do this all on your own without a coach and without a higher power, it is super hard. And this is why in the 12-step programs, for instance, one of the very most important aspects of the first 3 steps is turning your will and your life over to your higher power as you define them. And you don't have to be religious. You don't have to do a 12-step program. But what is really key here is that when you try to go it alone, you are, think about how many times you have lost your own commitment to yourself because you feel like everything's on your shoulders, everything's up to you. But if you haven't changed anything else, if you haven't allowed a spiritual connection of some kind, knowing that there's support for you, knowing it's a friendly universe, knowing that there is an energy that runs this universe that has the highest and best good for you in mind and can help you, it makes a huge, huge difference. So those are the very important holistic ways that we enter the path of healing and recovery. And that's the core part of coaching. That's the core part of my system to help you in a very rounded way get the results that you want to get long term. The next is, we've got P.O.W.E. E was enter the path. R is review your progress daily. Power up. U is uplift yourself no matter what. It means you don't get to be angry or say negative about yourself. You get to look at what you have and haven't done, what you are and are not doing, but you don't get to criticize. You get to support yourself. So you uplift yourself daily. Okay, you may have done something, eaten something. There may have been something you did that was less than optimal. You may have yelled at your kid. You may have, whatever it is, you need to uplift yourself daily and say, okay, I did this. It wasn't good. And here's what I did do that's good. How do you catch yourself doing something right? There's a wonderful book called The 1 Minute Manager. There's also a book called The 1 Minute Mother. And all of it is about the more you catch your employee or your child doing something right, the more you're developing their confidence and their self-esteem. So uplifting yourself daily is about catching yourself doing things right. Doesn't mean you don't look at what you did that was not so great or didn't do that you should have done or should have done, but would have been beneficial for you to do. Okay. But you still want to uplift yourself. And you can do that through a journal. You can do that through self-talk. There are many ways that I help you to do that. Finally, the P in up, power up, is play it all again. You see, this is not something one and done. The coaching and the program or whatever system that you choose, it gets you to a really good place. And yeah, you can be at that place where you've done the work, you've gotten the coaching, you've really made progress. But there's more that has to be done because life keeps happening. So that means that you take this system once we're done and you do it again with yourself. It's not negotiable if you're going to keep the results. But by that time, you have the tools, you've had the support, and you've found a way to get more support in your life because your life is set up for you to be well and thriving and happy and free and in control. So I invite you, whether it's me or some other coach, whether it's a program of some kind that you came across. I'm talking about my program here, but there are other programs out there. I welcome you to this channel. I would love if you would like and share these videos. I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I also have a link to my Facebook group, which is Get Finally Free from Stress Overeating. And if you need to get in touch with me, I welcome that. You can put a comment below. You can get into my Facebook group and contact me. I am on a mission to help anyone and everyone who wants to recover from stress and emotional eating or food addiction. And so it is my absolute joy to make a difference in your life. So thanks for watching. And I look forward to possibly hearing from you. And if not, I hope that this video helped you tremendously, and all the videos on my channel. Just, they're all free. So take the best from what I have here and go thrive.